might reflect off a little mirror ball.
Yeah.
But
Why don't you try a chair? Okay, you might give it a little bit more to...
I think it seems to be okay. I need someone to maybe check from this side if, I fit into the picture.
Perfect.
Okay, great.
You're in the little orange box.
Oh, perfect.
you're in the zone.
Well, great. Thank you for coming in again. Namaste. So I hope the previous session was helpful, and so we'll move forward. Lorraine is attending this session for the first time. This is the second time we are meeting. We'll be doing this every Friday, and this is about using power of Kundalini. Kundalini is that energy or soul that is inside each living being, and its connection with the with source energy or God. Becoming aware of that. So it's a very powerful technique which has been around for thousands of years. And then law of attraction is quite a new phenomena, which is again, quite powerful in manifesting your desires as well as releasing illnesses and those kind of things. So I've combined this into a single practice called Bhagavad Yoga, where you use the power of Kundalini using certain techniques, which we did in the previous session this morning. And then this session is about using law of attraction. And one of the things I've noticed is that quite often the law of attraction doesn't work the way a lot of people try to implement it. So they struggle to implement those things. So I've come up with a step-by-step process that if you follow that step-by-step process, one bit at a time, which each step would cover in each session every week, then you should be able to start seeing results within a few weeks. And because it's about breaking down the resistance. So now, last week we had covered the session, in last session we had covered how to make peace with your circumstances. So we had that intent, I am where I am and I'm pleased with it. So this week we will be talking about how to make peace with yourself, your own self, not just the circumstances, but you as a person. So today's intent that we are going to work on would be, I am who I am and I'm pleased with it. So, but before we continue, does anyone have to say anything about what about that intent for last week? Were there any issues in trying to achieve perform that step or achieve that peace with the circumstances?
I was pleased with all my circumstances last week.
Yeah, we know that you had quite a positive experience with that.
Yeah, and I'd forgotten to say also that I got a poison finger last week. I can't get to the doctors, and I phoned them up and I said, any chance? And she said, well, no, not really. Again, it was only. And she said, hold on a minute. And then she fitted me in like an hour later.
I'm just going to ask them to keep the voices
Yes,
down,
I was going to say the same.
I can't hear and concentrate. Sorry.
And Catherine, you had already.
Yeah, I mentioned it on the tape before, but I left here after last week's session when he said he got to be at peace with where you're at. And I felt, it's going to be really difficult for me because so much had happened to me recently. And I didn't feel comfortable, I didn't feel like it was the truth in saying, I am where I am and I'm pleased with it. Was I pleased with it? It didn't sit right with me. So I altered the words. That was something more acceptable and felt more truer when I was saying it to myself, because I didn't want to lie to myself. So I changed the words to, I am where I am and I'm at peace with it. And I sat and I gave myself, it took a long time of talking, going over everything, I went over everything in my life, where I felt someone had done something wrong or I'd been hurt, or which took unfortunately a long time to get through the list and a little bit upsetting and stuff. But I wanted to acknowledge everything, so I wanted to let go of stuff but also realise I'm in this place now for a reason. And as the week went on, I became very okay with I am at peace with this. It's absolutely right that I should be here at this time. This is needed for my transformation to bigger and better things for myself. I believed that. And then it became okay for me to say, I am where I am and I'm pleased with that. And I'm happy with that. It became okay. So it was I didn't get there straight away, but it was a process for me to be able to truly feel that I could say that with honesty. And once I was there, I was actually starting to feel more happy in myself. I just felt more joyous in myself. Not that my life had completely changed or anything like that, but I just was feeling in that place a bit more often. And even like a couple of days ago, I had a flat tyre, there was a nail in it, I was trying to get my son to college, and I then made him even later. Even for that experience, I saw it as a positive, because then they said my tyres, the brakes from my car was really in a bad way, and I had a service due, but it's over a month's time. So I thought, well, I'm blessed that this has happened to me, because, you know, that could have been, who knows what, my kids could have been in the car, you know, and had an accident. So I'm viewing things a little bit differently as well. So I feel quite positive about that. But yeah, it was a process for me.
So, Andrila, do you have anything to share from last week? Okay. So, yeah, that's great. It's really wonderful that, you know, the main thing is, it's not about, like, you know, just manifesting certain things, because just because you visualize something, it doesn't just pop up into your life experience just like that. You know, as we talked about last week, the way these things work is that if you have certain thoughts and feelings and vibrations and certain beliefs, then your whole energy flow and your body and your mind, you know, even at the deeper level within, you know, your vibrations, other people can sense that, you know. So like we talked about last week, two people saying the same exact words, but you feel vibes with one person but not with the other person. That's how you influence a lot of people. And then a lot of these manifestations are about, if you think about it, other people being influenced in giving you what you need. Whether it's a job, or whether it's you know, love, whether it's relationships, whether it's about contracts, whether it's about success of a project. A lot of times it's about people. So it's obvious that based on your vibrations, you'd be sending vibes which are positive or negative to others, which are perceived that way to other people, and then those people would react accordingly. So then you would either get the job or not get the job, or, you know, get the contract or not get the contract, or your employees would be happy or not happy. So it's common sense, right? And so, but with law of attraction, we know that it works even at a deeper level. It's not just about vibes between people, which we know works anyways. You know, there is no doubt about that. Nobody should have any doubts about that. But even other things obviously can start lining up, and that's the belief that we want to go in with. Because unless we have that belief, then these workshops or this law of attraction principles are not going to work for you, because that belief has to exist for you to be able to deliberately manifest certain things in your life. So,
can I just say it on that point, because I hear everything that you're saying. I just think sometimes you need a little bit of hard evidence just to alter your thought path, because there's something in my life that I've just stopped believing it's ever going to happen, and sometimes you need a little bit of hard evidence that it's possible.
yeah, the evidence doesn't come straight away.
No.
You have to start with certain belief,
Yeah.
and then expect that evidence to be there, and that's what law of attraction is about. You set your intent, I want to see evidence that this works. I want to see that these things work. Like I gave an example of evidence that, you know, I was asking this question. I was listening to Law of Attraction CD in my car, and I asked for evidence to see whether or not these things work, you know. And immediately, you know, same day, after some time, that the CD stopped automatically and it switched to radio just for a couple of seconds and went back to CD. And during that time, I just glanced at the dial, like the computer screen on my car, and the name of the radio channel. Can you guess what?
Heart.
Magic.
Oh, magic.
So, you know, these kind of things do happen. And I've seen, even before I started following Law of Attraction, when I look back at my life, I've seen magical things. If I were to tell you how I met my wife, how I, how I'm here in UK or I lived in US before, and growing up in India, those kind of things were impossible. Living in UK or US or wherever, and how I managed to go there, the kind of events that have transpired in my life. If I were to tell you, it's like when those things are supposed to happen, even the past timelines sometimes seem to change. Like certain things have never existed, right? They don't exist. But because the belief is so strong, I had such strong belief to make those things happen, some things which had not existed in the past somehow happened to coincidentally appear out of nowhere as if those things had actually happened in the past.
Time travelled.
I don't know what happened because those things did not exist. And then suddenly somebody comes up to me and says, those things had always existed. I just wasn't aware of it. So if you have very strong belief, and I would tell you some other stories, maybe I would in one of these sessions, I would post it on Facebook, YouTube as well, that how I met my wife, you would not believe that it's anything less than a miracle, magic. So we do live that sort of magical life, and that's what the belief we want to go with. And you set your intent saying, I want to see evidence that this works. And you would start seeing it. And that's the whole beauty of it. And that's how it works.
What's the intention? I want to see
I want to see the evidence that this law of attraction
the
works.
evidence.
I want to see, because there would be coincidences. Like if you have 1,000,001 chance, if it happens twice in a row, it can't be coincidence. It's impossible. So you look at those things and see, and you set your intent saying that I want these things in my life, and I want to see evidence that these things are going to manifest in my life.
Isn't that, by saying you want evidence, isn't that sort of a negative?
No.
Because you're not believing.
No, you believe that you would see evidence. Even
Oh,
before
you've got to
things
believe you will
manifest,
see evidence, right.
even before those things manifest, you would see evidence that those things are on their way.
Yeah, I suppose it's like giving yourself over and saying, show me then. Go on then. I'll sit here. I'm open to this. You show me.
Not in that attitude, not in that tone.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's like that. It's like, okay, then I'm going to do everything that is purported to bring this to me. I'll okay then.
Yeah.
I'm open to this.
So even before that, but there are certain things, like what happens is a lot of times things don't manifest because of our own inner resistance. Because we have resisting thought patterns, because of which we don't get what we want. So last week, and it's on YouTube by the way, so I'll give you the address so you can see the whole last session, both of you, and even you can see that if you want to go through that yourself. So basically, it's about making peace with your circumstances, because unless you make peace with your existing circumstances, you cannot have the kind of positive expectation, positive emotions that you need to manifest any changes based on what you desire. Similarly, today we are talking about making peace with yourself. So unless you are at peace with where you are, when you're trying to change yourself, you would always change with a negative mindset. So those things would not manifest. In fact, the quite opposite might manifest, because your vibration and your thoughts are negative. So before we start visualizing and asking for things to manifest in our lives, first we have to make peace with the circumstances, make peace with ourselves, make peace with the things where we stand. Because then you release those negative thoughts, and then those future things that you desire can start manifesting one by one. On the other hand, you don't need evidence, you don't need to follow this for the magic in it, because it's very simple. If you figure out how to be at peace with yourself, if you figure out how to be at peace with your circumstances, if you're happy with your current life, what's wrong with that? Why would someone say no to that? Why would, do you need any more magic than that? I'm already, most of the time, I'm in a state of bliss, I'm so happy all the time nowadays. I don't care whether those things that I want manifest or not, but most of them have. Like these sessions, I got invitation from the people, like, Catherine, Lynn, they said that, okay, why don't you come and talk about this stuff? Yeah. And this is something I wanted to do from childhood. I had seen myself, running very, very large groups, thousands of people where I'm talking about some of the things that I have to say and people listen to me. I wanted to do that, never happened.
I had something like that happen to me, or the realisation yesterday. Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
As a child, I used to imagine that I was in this great big house, and it was a sanctuary for troubled children. And the church that I belong to, they're changing their vicar, and the future of the vicarage is in doubt. But it's a massive house, and I've contacted the people in the hope that I can realise that dream. But everything that I've done in my life has put me in a position where it really is a possibility that I could work with vulnerable children in that way. So I'm now waiting to speak to the bishop to see if it's possible to take the house over with a view to turn it into a sanctuary for troubled children. And I just really felt yesterday, my gosh, I used to dream of this when I was a child, and it feels like I'm reaching out, and hopefully it will become real, as it were.
Yeah, and that's exactly how these things work, you know. So it's okay. Thanks. So let's start with today's session then. What we are going to do is set our intent. I am who I am and I'm pleased with it. So basically we want to close our eyes and say it in our mind a few times. I am who I am and I'm pleased with it. And when you're saying that, observe as a third person whether you're feeling any resistance in making that statement. What sort of emotions this statement generates in you. What it feels like. What is going on in your mind. I am what I am. And I'm pleased with it. Observe your emotions, observe your resistance. See how comfortable or difficult this statement feels. So the indicators that you're getting here, in terms of your whatever you observe in terms of the difficulty, the emotions you feel, is your guidance on how far you are in where you should be, and in your life, and where basically you want to be. So what is it that how far you are in terms of how close you are to alignment within yourself, where you are. So one thing we have to understand is that when we took this body in order to have certain life experiences. And a lot of times people say, oh, these are bad things, why would someone choose that? But people don't choose bad experiences, but there are challenges in life. A soul needs certain physical life experiences, and for them that's what they come into this body for. So when we come into this body, we want certain life experiences. Some of those experiences could be bad, some of them may be challenges gone bad. We want a challenge, but something wrong happens, we couldn't overcome the challenge, and then that's a bad manifestation. But overall there are certain things that we are looking for. And where we are today is exactly where we intended to be. That's what we need to understand first. That at this point in life, at this time in life, this is where we were meant to be. And that's why we are here, because it all, coincidentally, we all got attracted to the same topic, the same place. So it's not just coincidence. It's meant to be. That's where we were meant to be. And so once we know that this is where we were meant to be, this was partly part of our destiny, because until now we haven't done any deliberate creation. So which means it was just destiny. There was no control we had over our lives. So this is where our destiny led us to. But going forward, we can change that destiny if we follow that law of attraction properly. So then we can start manifesting the things that we want in future. So we would be in control of our own little universe around us, where we can shape that universe to be the way we want it to be. But for that to happen, we have to understand. We have to understand that we have to be at peace with the way things are. That includes our own self. And one of the things I've noticed is that most of the time, the reason people are not satisfied with their own image, their own self-image, is because they don't look at the mirror. They don't look at their own image through their own eyes. Most of the time, it's about their perception of what others see them to be. So they just want themselves from looking at what others feel about them, what others say about them, what others think about them. So their whole image, whether they're satisfied or happy with it or not, is made from what others are talking about or others think about themselves. So whether I'm handsome or ugly, usually it's not something that comes to me when I look at the mirror. It comes to me because some people I had met, maybe some women I had met, what did they say to me, or what were they, what were their expression on their face when they looked at me? That's how I observe myself. So that's something that is basically one of the biggest hurdles that we have to overcome. Because if we have to follow the law of attraction, one of the main things is we have to ignore whatever others think about us, whatever others say about us. We have to create our own self-image based on what we feel deep inside, rather than what others are saying. Because others can't even agree on whether we are good looking or not. Like they say, beauty lies in the eyes of beholder, right? For every type of body or every type of face that exists today, there are so many people who like exactly that kind of body, that kind of face. So if you talk to those people, they'll say, yeah, that's wonderful. And this person is like just the perfect person that they need. So nobody can ever agree on what type of body or what type of face or what kind of looks that are good or bad. Similarly, if you talk about nature, different attributes that a person has, different groups of people, different types of people want different things. Like, if you go to a school ground, there are certain bullies, right? They hang out together and they want those attributes. They think those attributes are good. And then people who go to library or studies, who are like getting good grades, they're nerds, or they have all these names for those people, right? So for them, those are bad attributes. On the other hand, there are other groups you would see sitting in the library. For them, like these people, these are bullies. They're bad people. They are to be avoided. They would just skirt around them. They won't go near them. And then for them, these people nice people who are sitting in the library, they're going to do well in life. They would do wonders. They'll do something for this world. So every group has different views about every single physical trait, emotional trait, every single attribute of a person. So how can you ever rely on that? Because it's never right, it's never consistent. Every single person would have a different view about that thing. So you can never rely on that. Whenever you see different inconsistent results, then that means that thing is most likely either not relevant or not important enough or not correct. If it were to be something correct, then you would get consistent results. Something that would make sense logically, emotionally, at all levels. So wherever, as a scientist, I am a scientist, I do a lot of inventions. I'm my job itself means taking care of logic and taking care of figuring out which things are relevant, which are not, how to make sense out of different data. Now, basically, for me, it's very simple. If it makes sense, if it's the right thing, usually it will be the simplest thing, it will be consistent, and it will make sense at all levels. Whenever there is something that doesn't make sense at all levels, I know there is something wrong, either with the data or my results or my interpretation. As simple as that. That's true in every part of life, every aspect. So others' views are irrelevant in your life. What others think and say about you are irrelevant because
But it still affects you.
that's what this session is about. So that you could learn to not let that affect you. That's the whole point. You don't want it to affect you. And you need to figure out how you could become immune to that. You don't care what others are saying. And that's the whole point of this session. So, because they can't agree on something, so how can you agree with them? 10 different people can't agree within themselves. What do they think of one particular attribute inside you? So how can you agree with any one of them or all 10 of them? That's one thing we have to understand. Because when you look at it, like I've been in corporate world for so long, right? They have these 360-degree feedback sessions. One thing I've noticed year in, year out, I've done thousands of those reviews, I've read them, I've done them, I've supplied feedback. All of the feedback is always selfish. Because when people say something about you, what is good or bad in you, they never say anything about which is actually good or bad in you. First of all, they only look at the fact that if you change something, would it make them happy, selfishly happy? So if they say this is something that is bad in you, they're not saying because it's really bad and they feel that it's bad or they're doing to help you. That they say that if you change that, my life would be easier. My experience with you would be easier, so I would be happy. They don't care about you. Nobody ever says something for your own betterment. They say it because it makes them feel better if you change.
It's like people pleasing, basically.
Yeah. So everyone, when they give a feedback, it's for their own personal selfish gains that if you, instead of this, if you do this, it will benefit me in this way. So I'm going to be happier. So for my happiness, I want you to change. Which we'll cover next week so that you don't do that. You don't be dependent on others for your happiness. So you become at peace with other people around you. That we'll cover next week. But this week, we are talking about when others are doing something to you. Whatever others' view is, you be at peace with yourself. You don't seek feedback. You know, when I did feedback sessions for my employees, I always had to filter it out because I would look at both sides of the coin. Because I know that this person has given this feedback to this because he has these selfish gains in mind. And this person is trying to achieve these goals which don't match that selfish gain. And that's the reason he has given negative feedback. Not because he has some genuine interest of that person in mind and he's like some, think about it, we are all people. How can we say that one person has more knowledge or wisdom to be able to judge others than like we have for ourselves? We are sitting in this room. What makes one person think that that person has more judgment to be able to pass comments on about the other person, but the other person doesn't have? If you have judgment to pass about others, what about your own judgment about yourself? That means you're good enough to be able to judge yourself as well.
I think the other thing is we are here because we're open to change. A lot of people aren't open to change.
But then they would never even come to know about it.
No.
So these things have been there around there for years and years. I never heard of them. Like I said, I've had this The Secret DVD sitting on my shelf for 2 years. I never even watched it. So you get those things when it's necessary for you, when you attract it through your vibration, through your thoughts. And then suddenly those coincidences happen and you end up in those situations. That's what law of attraction is all about. That's exactly how it works. So you attracted certain things and coincidentally you ended up in those situations, which is this particular session, let's say. So first of all, what you have to understand is, and this is something quite easy to achieve, even though people say that it's hard or sometimes people struggle, it's very simple. Just forget about what others are saying, what others think. Just look at yourself. Don't seek feedback. Don't bother about any feedback. Whether it's positive or negative, fine, that's great. That's your view. But my view, is different. And what that view is, what you have to rely on, your own guidance, your own emotions. Because think about it. Our body and mind, when we came into this body, was equipped with all the tools that we need to make those decisions. We have all these senses. Those senses are meant to help us make the decision. So if we touch something, it's hot, it burns, that's what it tells us that it's dangerous. We shouldn't be doing that. You know, we have taste. If it tastes really bad, we don't want that, right? If it tastes good, we eat it. We like to eat it. If it feels pleasurable, we like to touch that thing. So we have all these senses which are helping us make those decisions. So we need to start relying. Similarly, we have the emotions. So when something feels good, that means, you know, that's what we should be trying to figure out, that it feels good. So, you know, our body, there is a reason that we were given that sensation of feeling good. Because through our evolution, through our connection with source, through our soul, somebody is telling us that that's something good, we should be doing more of it. And when it feels bad, then that means somewhere, someone has equipped us with that guidance saying that that's something bad, we should not be doing it. So we're not talking about thoughts here. Monitoring thoughts is harder. But we are talking about monitoring the emotions, whether you feel good or bad. So of late, I turned my life around. I got into this state of bliss by simply following one principle. Every time I do something, think something, I just keep looking at feeling my own emotions, like whether it's feeling good or bad. I'm not even thinking what kind of emotion it is, whether it's hatred, love, revenge, I don't care. Envy, I don't care about that. All I care about is, am I feeling good or am I feeling bad? When I feel good, I know that I'm on the right track, I want more of it. When I'm feeling bad, I know I'm going down the wrong track, so I want to change my thoughts, change my actions, change my behavior, do something to get out of that rut, and then try to figure out a better feeling thought and better feeling thought. So every single scenario, that's what you need to do. Keep practicing that in different scenarios. So first of all, we don't want to see ourselves in others' image. We want to create our own image for ourselves. You know, we look at a mirror, see what we see, and accept that. Because unless we accept that, we can't change. Maybe there are certain aspects that you don't like about yourself, right? Everyone has certain aspects that maybe you don't like, which is fine. Accept it. Focus on the aspects that you like. Every person has enough beauty, enough good traits flowing through that person that you could focus on those aspects and feel good about yourself. Just focus on those good aspects, feel good about yourself, and issues, that areas which you are not happy with, either would go away from your life, start ignoring them. Either they would go away from your life, or when you set the intent, you want those areas to change, they would actually start changing. You know, I've had this experience ever since I've started following this. Quite often, I had noticed earlier that I had gotten into that negative thought pattern for quite a number of years because I was successful before, and then I had a very like steep dip where I was like lost pretty much everything I had. And during that time, obviously it affects your emotions and negative thoughts. You go into that downward spiral, which is sometimes very hard to come out of. So during that time, I noticed that a lot of the people I would meet, they would give me the sort of looks where unapproving looks. You know, sometimes people would think that, you know, a lot of things were different, you know. So, and I started observing that, and I felt that there is something wrong with me at some stage. But then once I started coming out of this rut, and since I've started following law of attraction, I see nowadays stranger in London, can you believe? British stiff upper lip, city like London, where people look at you and frown upon you, and if you try to actually smile at them, they think something's wrong with you, right? In a city like London, I've seen strangers smile at me, and warm, genuine smiles, as if they're impressed with something they're seeing in me. You know, I don't know what's going on. And let's say I went to a coffee shop the other day. There are people who try to start conversations with me. I went to this theme park the other day with my daughter. People try to, strangers, come in and try to have conversations with me. You know, and I'm like, that's the evidence I'm seeing, because I had been trying to come out of that rut. I wanted to, have an experience where I become the kind of person that people might like and people might be attracted to, people might be influenced by, right? And because that's one of the intents I set, and how am I seeing that evidence? I'm seeing people smiling at me all the time nowadays, people who don't know me. I'm seeing people, strangers coming in, and talking to me, starting conversations. Brief conversations, just, simple, regular stuff, and then you walk on, hey, hi, great, and you walk on, right? But then, that's the evidence. And then I got invited to run these sessions. I didn't ask for this. I got invited by people, So that's how you see that evidence. And that's how law of attraction works. So, and what did I do to make that change? Did I go to all these strangers or try to change myself based on what those people would want me to be? No. All I did was, I realized I'm a very good person. I love myself. I'm so happy. I'm so handsome. I'm so smart. I got so much wisdom. I became happy within myself with who I am. That's all I did. And the moment I did that, I see that others' views around me, about me, changed as well. Not just people who I knew, but people, strangers, also started looking at me differently. People who have never met before. That's all I did. It's the same person. I have not changed my face. I have not changed my physique. I have not changed my habits. Right? On the other hand, I have actually become earlier, quite often, when I ran into difficulties in my life, most of the time those difficulties were because I was trying to please those people. So I failed in certain ventures, certain situations, because I was trying to look after everyone's interests.
Don't you feel at all uncomfortable if you know that somebody is kind of doing you down, or?
That's something we'll cover next week.
Okay.
People will judge people no matter what.
Everybody will judge.
They will.
Everybody
Yeah,
will
but-
judge. You just got to know in your own mind that what they're judging or saying is not the truth. It's
Yeah.
what you believe in.
What you believe in. And that's something you can train yourself quite well. Like I said, look at yourself, your traits, your looks, everything.
But we do know that it can influence your professional life.
Not if you follow the law of attraction, that's the whole point.
That's only if you allow it.
If you allow
I've
it.
been there.
See, that's what I'm saying. I'm coming to exactly the same point. I was coming to that before, we went off. Basically, I was looking after a lot of these interests, okay? In jobs where I solved such major problems, and nearly saved the company from big troubles, right? I ran into a lot of difficulties with people. Even though I was perfectly my communication skills, everything was so perfect, politically correct, everything was perfect, right? On the other hand, when I look at my successes, those days when I was successful earlier and nowadays, I don't give a shit about what people think or say. And I'm getting the results. People are happy.
Yeah.
Even people are happy, even though I don't care about what they want or what they're saying, what they think. They're happier with me now than when I was trying to accommodate everyone, when I was trying to be politically correct. So nowadays, I say whatever I feel like saying. Still people are happy, they want to come and talk to me. I'm getting the results I need. And earlier when I had seen the success, I saw that that's what I was doing. I had that strong belief that I am doing the right thing. I was at peace with myself. I was happy with myself. And then when you are in that mode, when you say something, usually it will be the right thing anyways, first of all. And even if it's not the right thing, because your vibrations carry far more weightage than your words. Like I said earlier, you say the same thing, two people say the same exact things. One person you feel good in listening to that thing, the other person is like, why did he say that? So it's your vibration that carries that influence, not the words that you're choosing. So if you're at peace with yourself, if you're happy, if you're at, believe what you're saying is the right thing, it won't matter. And if you're happy, if you're at the right vibration, you'll always end up saying the right things at the right time anyways. So just rely on your judgment, rely on yourself. You have this guidance system inside you. Rely on that guidance. Forget about what others are saying, because if you are happy, those people would feed off that happiness from around you. People would come up to you to feed off of that happiness. And they would feel good being around you. They would want to listen to you. They would want to start conversations with you. And I can tell you the evidence in my own life. I've seen that before when I was successful. I've seen during that time when I was going down that spiral. Even in situations where I saved the companies millions and millions of pounds, solved all sorts of problems where nobody else was able to solve, right? Still, I ran into difficulties. On the other hand, again, now, I don't care what any of people think or say or whatever. And then people still want to talk to me. They're happy with me. They just come to me so that they could feed off of my happiness. That's the way it works.
I suppose as well, it's that you no longer need them.
It's not about need, because we don't want to look at it any negative thing.
No, but
Okay?
what I'm saying
It's about
is,
vibrations. You know?
because you feel like that, you no longer need their approval.
Anyways, yes.
Do you see what I mean? And so therefore your energy towards them changes.
Yeah, that happens. And then also, think of it this way. If you are empty inside, what do you have to offer to others anyways? What are you going to give it to them? So you have to have something inside you that you feel worthy enough, then only you have something to offer. So when I was trying to give a lot of things to people, but I wasn't aligned to myself, they got the negative meaning out of it. Now I'm aligned to myself, I can say anything to anyone, people laugh, oh, nice joke. They feel good. You know, I can, even if I say something rude, people think it's funny. That's the way it works. So forget about what others are thinking. They will be okay. They'll be fine. Worry about yourself. That's what your job is. When you took on this body, you did not take on this body so that you could please everyone around you. You took on this body because you wanted experiences for your own self. That's why you took this body. The reason you chose the circumstances, people around you, your mother, father, your relatives, that's the reason you took that particular family, chosen that particular family, because it will provide certain circumstances which will allow you to have that experience. Why is it that some people take birth in poor families, some people take birth in rich families, some people take birth in West, far more advanced, and some people take birth in like Africa, some of the countries where it's very, very bad circumstances. When the souls have a choice, why do still some souls choose to take birth in those situations? Because they want to have certain experiences. They want to, some people souls might be taking birth in poor, extreme circumstances because they want to have that, like films. If everything goes right in that film, would you even watch it? It's boring. But the hero, the reason that person is a hero is because everything goes wrong and then finally that person overcomes all those challenges and comes out victorious. That's what we go there to see. So these souls who come into these bodies, who take on those experiences or circumstances around them, what is to say that they don't want to rise from that poverty or those extreme circumstances and become super rich? And that's why they took that thing, that to enjoy that ride of trying to achieve that. Some of those souls may fail in that whole process, may end up dying or get up nowhere, right? They may get lost, but then, who knows that that's not the reason that those people did that. So souls have access to all these bodies, and they choose those experiences. So we chose these experiences because our families, our bodies, our parents, because this is where we want to be, and that's where we have to understand, and we want to be happy about it, that's what we were meant to be. Our soul has chosen us, our body and our circumstances. That's what brought us here, and rest of it is our thoughts. So whatever has happened, fine. This is what our image is, of self-image. Focus on the good parts of our image, ignore the negative parts, and see the transformation happening. Start ignoring other people and you see the transformation happening. Those people would come up to you, cling to you for that breath of fresh air and that happiness. They would feed off of you.
What about if you found yourself in an unexpected circumstance that really is beyond your control? So you kind of take control of it the best way you can, but it still doesn't make sense. Kind of you think, why am I in this place? Why am I here.
That's quite a big topic by itself, because we covered it last week about being at peace with circumstances or events. Okay, so I would give you the video if you could watch that, because otherwise that'll take quite a long discussion. You know, so
Okay.
right now what we are talking about is our own self,
Yeah.
our others' view compared to our own view. So that's what we want to do. You know. Second thing is, you know, in terms of physical condition, looks, those kind of things. Just focus on the good aspects, our own, you know, attributes, nature, personality. Focus on the good things. Ignore the bad things. And slowly the bad things would start becoming less important, or they would stop mattering anymore. Because I've noticed that, you know, some of the salespeople that I've had, sometimes they focus too many on problems, too much on problems, on what the objections the customers might raise. So their vibrations become such that they're not happy within their own self, that customers end up raising those vibrations, or they end up rejecting simply because they think that there could be certain issues, because these people, salespeople, are thinking that there would be these issues in this product, or whatever I'm saying. You know, so the thing is, what we have to understand is that if we focus on our good aspects, they would increase, they would become better, they would become more relevant in our vibration. So when we talk to those people would also get our vibes, where they would focus on those aspects. And things that we don't want, don't like about ourselves, if we just accept it, that's it is, be neutral about it. If we can't be pleased about it, start ignoring them, just be at peace with it, and then those things would start becoming less relevant to other people also. They would not observe those things, because those people's attention to what aspects of you is drawn to you through your vibration, the vibes. That's why we keep saying vibes, vibrations. So basically your vibration attracts those people. You know, haven't you seen that sometimes you see like couples where one person is so ugly and the other person is like out of this world? So common to see that. What do they see in each other? And quite often people comment, what do they see in each other? What does that woman see in this man? You know? Money. I've seen some of these people like, you know, they are actually poor as well. So not always the case. There are certain things that those people have certain good aspects which they focus on themselves, they are at peace with themselves, and those people then are drawn to those aspects and they stop seeing the negatives. Because you are at peace with themselves, with your own aspects, so other people also start becoming at peace with the same aspects. Now, that's one aspect about your own personal view about yourself, right? It's time to finish this. Shall we maybe continue this same topic next week? Because the other aspect of it. Because the other aspect is about guilt. A lot of times what we do, sometimes it creates guilt. Sometimes we are not comfortable with our own desires. You know, we have basically a feeling that, you know, society says I shouldn't be doing this, but I feel like doing it. Is it the right thing, wrong thing? Should I do it or not do it? How do I deal with it? And then there is a lot of guilt that I did something to this person, I shouldn't have done that. You know, how do I deal with it? So how do you deal with those circumstances? So today's session was primarily about, let's say, our own self-image compared to image that others hold for us, and how it impacts that relation. So ignore anything negative we have about ourselves, focus on our positive, be at peace with our own self-image, just forget about what others are saying, and you would see a transformation happening within your relationship. As soon as you align your own vibrations to your own self, you would see people's behavior towards you would start changing. Straight away. So whatever results you're trying to achieve by trying to please them and not being in alignment with yourself, you would be struggling to achieve those results that way. But on the other hand, if you just be yourself, be happy with yourself, not just be yourself and feel bad about it, be happy with whatever you can, be happy with you, be at peace with you, you would see that same things that you were trying to achieve the other way around, which you were struggling with, you'll find it so easy, it'll just happen naturally. People would come to you. Be happy with you.
Thank you, Pankaj.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Last week when we did it, we tied our head afterwards. We didn't do that today.
Yeah, I have been. This is a new ritual which I've been trying to practice with, and I realized that that tying is not really needed, because that was to reinforce the intent that that your Kundalini, you want to keep it there. But then I realized that that's something that, if people attend these sessions a few times, that's an automatic intent. We don't want to reinforce it through another ritual, so that's fine.
Okay.
So we don't need to do that.
I forgot about that. Did?
Yeah, so I've just taken that out of the whole thing. Because I'm assuming that anyone who does this does it with the intention that they want to keep their Kundalini up there.
Yeah. Can you just remind what the Kundalini is again? So that
It's
I-
your inner being or
Inner
your
being.
soul, or it's an energy point, energy source inside your body which is connected to the higher power, the source or God. So basically what happens is when we come into this body, the source energy, which I've seen through, beyond the edge of the universe through my meditation, that source energy, part of that source energy focuses onto a particular body, and that's how that particular part, that the source energy focuses, becomes soul, and that energy comes into our body, and then we become whatever person we are, right? We take birth, and then when that focus is withdrawn, then the soul leaves the body, basically, essentially, and then we die. So that's that process.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very
Wonderful,
much.
wonderful
Thank you.
again. Can't wait to see what my week's going to be like.
I think you'll be better than last week.
Oh, it's good last week. I'm on a
It
roll.
will be better.
So did it?
There's a couple
Clarify.
of things that you said that I liked. You know when you said like,
Do you want to maybe have
I don't want
a
to
little
film.
chat? No, not on film.